We should be up and live. Let's check it. All right, we are live. Hello and welcome, everybody. I am Brandon from Bad Tech and Gaming today with something new. This is the Bad Cast. I actually have a few people here with me. We have, so in Bad Tech and Gaming, we have Brandon, Alex, and Dad. We have Dad, who's on the video, Alex, who's on a voice call. Dad, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. It looks like your video also, you just left. Alex, how are you doing out there? Are you there?
Doing all right.
All right. Well, with that being said, we actually have 5 topics. We have Disney Plus, Galaxy Fold, Microsoft announcement, Google Stadia, and Frostpunk that we are going to be going through. Not particularly in that order, so stick through. Deck Bones, hello, hi, Kathy, who is also the mom portion of this, and Dad, would you like me to call you back?
I don't know. I don't have anything up.
Yeah, your video is down officially, just as we start.
I'll just keep it going.
All right, cool. So with that being said, well, let's go ahead and let's start off with what I had intentionally set to start with. We're going to do Disney Plus first. So welcome everybody. Please follow along. Give us your thoughts and opinions in the chat because I would love to hear them, read them, and discuss them as well. So we are going down and boom. We should be in it now. All right, there we go. So Disney Plus has launched. Now, one of the questions that I want to kind of go through with this one is it worth it? Is it worth the money that you're going to be paid for it? Is it better than things like Netflix or Hulu? And, you know, that's even part of it. And YouTube TV, hi, Synchros, all that good stuff. So I'll kind of open up the floor. Dad, are you able to see anything that I have up live by any chance?
I'm not.
Okay, cool. So with that being said, Disney Plus, some of the big things, price point. We have what, $7 a month. We have what is it, $12.99 for the full blown thing. Do you know the differences between some of those?
What I got there's a special deal that came out not too long ago that actually gives you 30% off or 30% off if you buy 3 years in advance. So that's what I did, and that is the full deal. So it gives you all the connection. The one thing I do know is that Disney Plus is going to bundle with Hulu as well. So they're going to offer a bundle deal. So there's a few options that they're coming out with that also include some ESPN Plus as well. So we're going to get all kinds of content and all sorts of options together with the Disney products. So that's going to be pretty exciting. We'll see how that works.
Yes. And one of the popular questions that's going around is actually, is it worth it? And with, you get, like you said, the ESPN, you get, I'm literally looking at this right now as well, but you get all the Disney titles, you get all the Hulu and stuff like that for the more expensive one, but Netflix 4K is $16 a month. So not only do you get all of that stuff 4K, but you also get it, for all of those services 4K, not just one of those services. So to me, that would say that it's definitely worth it in that regard. Let's see, what else do we have? The release date, November 12th. Now, I believe November 12th in the US and Canada, November 19th in Australia and New Zealand. They're going to have a whole bunch of Marvel specials. They're going to have a whole bunch of Star Wars specials as well, which I actually didn't know that they had Star Wars specials going on with it. I just knew about the Marvel ones, like the Loki show. They have the Wanda and Vision, the WandaVision, I think it was, stuff like that. And then they're going to be pulling, as those agreements end, off of Netflix and putting everything onto actually this service here. So my question to you, is it worth it over a Netflix or like a YouTube TV? Would you rather have this if you had to choose?
Well, that's a tough one. I think YouTube TV gives you, a lot of the live content from the major networks. So that's a must-have. Netflix versus Disney Plus. I think Disney Plus is really going after that Netflix market, and Hulu is trying to get after that YouTube TV market. So, if you're getting a bundled package like that, it might be pretty good. I think the content on Disney Plus speaks volumes, right? They're going to be pulling a lot of Disney content off of other providers, and you're going to get all the old vault stuff. So if you've got kids, Disney Plus is going to be really a great service, because you're going to be able to see all those old movies that you can no longer buy off the shelf, and that'll be streamable. So that's, it really kind of depends on your personal preference. But for me, when I saw Disney Plus and the content that it was coming out with Star Wars, Marvel, Pixar, all that stuff, it was a no-brainer. We had to have it.
Yeah. Well, and one thing I actually didn't know as well is they're coming with, not only is it 4K Ultra HD, but it's Dolby Vision, HDR10, and Dolby Atmos immersive audio. I didn't know that either. So that actually, that's a big deal. Those are going to be some high quality audio options on top of the high quality video. So that's very nice.
I agree. And, it's kind of interesting too. There's a little bit of a streaming war developing, right, between Amazon Prime Video, Netflix, and Disney Plus, right? Those three competitors are sort of are going after each other, and Google, right? All four of them. So, Amazon just recently, with the incoming Disney Plus, Amazon just recently let YouTube content back onto their Fire platforms with YouTube TV and YouTube, streaming. So those were just allowed back in. Chromecast was just allowed to have Prime Video back in. So we're seeing these companies start to work together, but there's still a few out there that are not quite ready for Disney Plus yet. And so we'll see how long it takes until they're on all the platforms.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually, I'm just scrolling through this article, seeing more stuff, and I forgot they actually include the National Geographic as well, and all Pixar stuff, which is a pretty big deal. Those are just things I didn't think. Also, integrated programming from Fox. 30 seasons of The Simpsons will be on Disney Plus starting on day one. That one is not a little bit later. Some of the stuff will be later, and more titles like The Sound of Music, The Princess Bride, Malcolm in the Middle, all that good stuff. But that's going to be within the first year. Some of those things. Let's see, remaining Fox Pass franchises. So they're pulling it. That's actually pretty cool. And as they get onto more of those platforms, like you were saying, that's going to be very, very nice overall. The Star Wars prequel based Rogue One they're actually, all that stuff will be on there. Let's see, the first wave with the Winter Soldier. They're going to have Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie in their own TV show, and then the Loki featuring Tom Hiddleston. I already called the WandaVision one. And the Hawkeye series. That's the other one I forgot. So I was just reading through those and thought I would make sure to mention those at some point throughout this particular one.
But having seen Star Wars, and this is going to age me a little bit, having seen Star Wars, the original movie in theaters when I was a kid, Mandalorian's one that's kind of exciting to me, because I remember watching Boba Fett back in the early days. So it was kind of fun to see that this was going to come out and give a little bit of backstory on those bounty hunters. So that's good stuff.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty cool. I mean, even like Jango Fett, that shows. I mean, that's where I grew up with Jango Fett, so that'll be really cool to see even the prequel to him and how that right. Stuff kind of came about. And I think in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, actually, a lot of that stuff was a big deal back then. So that's pretty good. And I just saw our YouTube stream pop up on as a notification, so maybe it'll start coming through a little bit now too. We have some people now. Deck Bones actually commented, says, I didn't realize, but Disney's actually trying to immobilize the market in terms of movies, just like YouTube with its TV shows. I wouldn't be surprised if they did some sort of merger. I wouldn't be surprised if they did some sort of collaboration for sure. I don't know about a merger though. Disney and Google. That would be an interesting thing. However, we're going to move on to the next subject up, and if you guys can see the tabs, you can actually see ahead and start looking up some of the stuff if you'd like as well. The Galaxy Fold, the phone that changed the world, that is the next subject. And with that, the Galaxy Fold came out and looked fantastic. It looked so cool, but the screen on the front looked to be the biggest issue, as it was tiny, 4.3 inches versus the giant Super AMOLED screen that unfolds like a butterfly in your hand. And I didn't even click on a full article just to give you some information on this, Dad. I don't know how much information you have. I don't know professionally if I should call you Scott or Dad here. It's kind of weird, but this is my channel, so I'm going with it.
Do what you need to do.
But the Galaxy Fold, there are some things that say it's trying so hard to become a tablet that it forgot to become a phone. And one of the first articles is Samsung Galaxy Fold's latest issue, not so sticky sticky stickers. Galaxy Fold is literally destroying its name. Those are the top 3 when I searched it. So have you been following the debacle that goes with the Galaxy Fold?
No, it's kind of funny. The Galaxy Fold is going to be a first generation sort of game changing device, right? It's a phone, it's a tablet. Not sure what it is right now. I'm always one to get on early with tech, but I'm telling you, on this one here, I'm probably at a hold state until they work this technology out a little bit better. Mm-hmm. There are other competitors out there that are trying to come up with something, and I believe, if I saw this right just the other day, Microsoft had something as well, but
yep, that's in the next one. And jumping ahead.
Yeah, sorry. But with the Galaxy Fold, the concept is there. Most people who would use this are professional people, men in suits, ladies with their, bags or whatever, trying to bring this thing in. You put this in your seat pocket, it's going to be a big lump. It's going to look like you're carrying some sort of bad stuff around in you. But yeah. It's a little bit thick still. It's a little bit fragile. Not sure about how a case is going to work for something like that. So there's a few things to work out, but give it time.
Oh yeah,
it's going to evolve. It's going to become a pretty amazing piece of technology. But I think this first version, I'm at a hold until we get there.
Oh, I agree, and I would like to preface everything by saying that this is, like you're saying, it's the first generation product. How much can your expectations really be for it? But it still should be a product that you can use every day and not have to worry. And I think that's where people's they have the most issues right now. I think that they just want to be able to pick up the phone and use it without worrying about it. But so I pulled up, and by the way, the first article we were looking at was from CNET, so all credit to CNET. This current one that you're looking at is from Tech Radar, so if you want to follow along with us, you may. There, literally it says their verdict. They said the Galaxy Fold delivers a wow factor that no phone offers today, and I think that's 100% true. I think it really does. When you pull your phone out and you go shabam, look at my gigantic tablet now. That's gonna be huge. And it's gaming taken to the next level, as well as Samsung's biggest battery are the 4. So that's like the pros to it. And then the against is outrageously expensive and the vulnerable plastic. And CNET actually did something where they made a robot that folded it. It opened and closed, opened and closed, opened and closed. And actually, Alex, if you could chime in on this one, you and I were talking about this a little bit earlier, but they did it 120,000 times, maybe 129,000 times before it actually decided to give out and not work properly. Now, it's not in. Samsung did something similar. They got 200,000 out of them, but their controlled environment. CNET looked like they had it on a desk kind of thing. But I'll kind of leave it there. I just spewed a lot of information. Let's discuss that. I think that's an interesting thing. The Fold. Alex, you out there? We might have lost him.
Alex is on mute.
Okay. He might be letting the dogs out. But what is your take on that? And like the super. So in order to get the screen to actually fold, it has to be so thin plastic that is just so easy to break.
That's the problem. Is I already have trouble keeping my phone from cracking the screen now. It doesn't happen very often, but I take a lot of care to make sure that doesn't happen. That's why I was kind of saying I'm not sure how a case is going to operate for this thing, right? Because you can't really cover up the front of it. You have to have something that will cover up the back. It will open with the phone. So there's some a little bit of engineering that's going to need to take place on the case. And I thought I was a little bit out of touch spending $1,400 on my Galaxy 5G, right? The S10 5G. But this one's off the charts, another $600 more expensive. So, like I said, first generation, let's wait and see the improvements and what they learn from this first generation and go from there. Hopefully Samsung will start putting out some case ideas and stuff as well. I don't know that I've seen anything for it, but the accessories make as much of a difference as the phone itself, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And Deckbones actually says, if this is what the prototype is like, then I'm anxious to see what's later. Come on, the problem is that people are too impatient. So I agree. I think people are going to jump on this and expect it to be a final product, and this is their prototype. I mean, it's released to the public, but let's be honest, this is the prototype. This is just after a prototype. Like, you're a beta tester at this point. So I like that.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's very true. And the other thing too, so the other couple of drawbacks I see is they decided to go ahead and put only 0.5 terabyte of storage in it, right? So a lot of the newer phones are coming out with 1 terabyte.
Yeah.
Right. My 5G's got 1 terabyte of space. You put a tablet type of device, you're going to want more apps. You're going to want to do more, on the go video editing and things like that than you would do on a smaller screen. So more storage is certainly warranted. So why they decided to go with only 512. Not sure. It does have the large battery, but it needs a large battery. All right, you're powering 2 fairly decent sized screens, one way oversized, one a little smaller than normal. So, powering that much screen real estate is going to take that much battery. So, jury's still out on how long that's going to last. Some of the tests have been promising, but let's put it in everyday use and see how well it does.
Right, that is a big concern that, I think everybody has, is day to day, how long will it actually last? And I know that is something that everybody's been thinking, because you put a piece of pocket lint, they even state it. If you put a piece of pocket lint in there, it can possibly give you an issue. And that's not good. That's no good. That is what worries most these people that are having issues, or that are worried about it as of right now. If a piece of pocket lint can do that much damage, then what does a rock do? What does a drop do? Like, what happens if you drop it on the floor? That's going to be overall.
And I don't use. I know I say I have trouble keeping my. I don't have trouble, but I spend a lot of effort trying to make sure my screen doesn't scratch or crack. One thing I don't do is I don't put a screen protector on it, but when I do, the screen protector I choose are the glass screen protectors, right? The Monster, or the tempered glass. So that obviously is out for the tablet piece of this, because nobody's going to be coming out with a screen protector that's glass that will fold, right? That's going to be some time. So you're going to have to go with the sort of plastic rubbery ones. And tactically, I don't like the tactile feel of those screen protectors. I like the smoothness of the tempered glass. So that's it. It's going to make it tough to protect that screen with anything other than a piece of plastic on there. So we'll see how that goes.
And here's my.
You ever try to put a plastic screen protector on? It is not.
Yeah,
you get bubbles and everything else, and it just doesn't feel right. I like the smooth feel of a nice new screen with no scratches and everything in it. So I think most people probably are that way.
And Alex actually had the Motorola Z2 Force, and that's why he's coming up with that particular statement there, because that was an awful screen to put a plastic screen protector on.
If they can make their actual screen like the Moto Z2 Force screen was, I think it might be okay to some degree. But the problem is either they're going to have to make the phone very thin, but very, very fragile with a terrible battery, or they're going to have to make it very thick to make it actually last.
Yeah.
And the battery to be a little better.
Oh, yeah. Well, and they tried doing the little plastic layer, I think.
Yeah, it's just they're going to make it too thick trying to make it any sort of durable at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're either going to have to be really careful with your phone, or just have a giant wallet sticking out of your pocket, basically.
Yep. You're absolutely right with that one.
The other thing I think that was interesting with this is, on release, they're going to have two versions of it, the 4G version, the 5G version. And in order to fit the 5G radio, which is slightly larger, they had to actually shrink the battery. So it drops down a little over 100 milliamp hours of battery life to get the 5G radio in. Of course, the 5G radio takes more battery. So you're going to, the suggestion here, if you're interested in go out and buying one of those things, I would start with 4G because there's really no 5G service right now that's really
Usable.
marketable and ready to go. So
Oh yeah.
4G will get you a little better start on that.
Mm-hmm. Now, as we end up
I think
this,
what they may have to end up doing
Mhm.
is kind of like what Tesla was doing with their cars, is they had to develop a battery that could hold more of a charge and be smaller.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way they're going to get anything good out of the phone in terms of the battery life. And that's exactly what Tesla has done, and what they're continuing to do is try to make more efficient batteries. So I think like any battery you put into the Galaxy Fold is just going to be too small because there's a lot of screen to light up, which is not going to work very well.
Oh yeah. Well, and so before we end up this, because we're running out of time for that particular portion of it, Galaxy Fold, win or fail? Do you think it's a win or a fail?
Boy, that's a tough one. I think this first version probably limited sales, limited success, more problems than not. As they work through those things, I'm going to say it's probably this first version's a fail.
Okay, Alex.
I'll say it's going to be a lot like the Amazon Echo and Google Home. Not many people will have it for a while, but as they keep making it better, people will start to get it more.
Yep, and I think as of right now, it's a win just because they got it out. I think the fact that they actually got it out for the people makes it a win. Okay, moving on to my most... This is the topic I have been waiting for. The Microsoft event. And I don't think anybody else other than me knows a lot of information. I think, Dad, you have some. But you have everything from a Surface Laptop 3, Surface Pro 7, you have the Surface Pro X, the Surface Earbuds, Surface Neo, and Windows 10 X, let's not forget, and then the Surface Duo. And this particular one, I'm going to give credit, this article is from Engadget. If you want to take a look with us as well, give them some views and comments. But with that being said, I would like to first make sure that we brush past the Surface Laptop 3 and the Surface Pro 7 by just stating the fact that there's a 15-inch version of the Surface Laptop 3 with an AMD Ryzen processor, which we can talk about in a second, and then the 13-inch version with Intel stuff. And then the Surface Pro 7 has USB-C. Other than that, it's the same as a 6. Surface Laptop 3 AMD processors made by Microsoft. Did you ever think that would happen?
No, actually. I thought sure that they were partnered well enough with Intel to continue to use their chipsets. But, AMD makes a good chipset. One thing I'm very glad of is that Microsoft is taking the Surface line really to the next level. They've had a few models out in each generation in the past, but now they're really going to expand it out, and they're going to give all the way from budget models to the high-end stuff. They're going to make a lot of different varieties between them. You're going to really hit every price point, and except maybe Chromebook style price points, right, where they're only a few $100. Mm-hmm. But it's good that Microsoft's expanding on this. It's a good product, and they've got a winning device here, and it's only getting better. So I'm pretty excited.
And real quick, I have some comments stating, who is that other guy? So I would like to reintroduce everybody. We have, so for the first time ever, we have Bad Tech and Gaming. For the realist point, we have Brandon, Alex, and Dad. So I'm Brandon. Alex, say hi. Are you out there? Are you still there?
What's up?
And then Dad, if you just want to make sure that, that they know who's who.
That's me.
Okay. Okay, now that we've got that done, okay, cool. So we're going to skip right past the Pro 7 because I want to talk about the Pro X. This is exciting. So it's a Windows 10 X, which is kind of like their Windows 10 S that they made, but a little bit, it's a little bit more powerful, right? But it has the Qualcomm. So now Microsoft is working with 3 different manufacturers on processors, on the silicon inside the computers. It's got the Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 or no, it's just SQ1, I'm sorry, processor that they named it. They didn't even name it the 855, but it's based off of that, and then they kind of like, they integrated the graphics into it a little bit more to create something more powerful, something that works better than the i3, according to what they're telling us. Have you heard about this Surface Pro X?
I've not done a whole lot on that yet. So I'm a little behind on the Surface stuff because I've been focusing elsewhere. But what I have read on it is if you need a near professional grade device, it's the one to go with.
Yeah, and it's even thinner than the Surface Pro. I mean, it is thinner than an iPad. The pen actually sits inside the keyboard, and I'm actually showing a picture of that. It literally sits inside the keyboard. And it's just, this has got to be one of their best Surface Pro devices ever made. And of course, that is pending on performance. We have to see how it performs. Just saying hello to some other people. And so yeah, it depends on how it performs, and that'll really kind of define it. Moving down, we have the Surface Earbuds, which are basically circles inside your ear, and everybody says, oh, they look ridiculous. Well, let's be honest, guys. When the AirPods came out, what did everybody say about them hanging out of your ear? It looks ridiculous. But I think that these are going to be one of those things that kind of goes and everyone's going to love it once they buy it. So these actually can take your information and transcribe it on your voice. As you're talking, as you speak, it'll transcribe it on the Word document or Notepad or whatever it is that you're typing on to give you that kind of demonstration. Also does different languages. So if I told you, now Dad, I'm going to ask you this question. If I told you that you could talk to your headphones, and not only you can your headphones would help you be productive in the fact that you can actually speech to text anywhere you're at, and translate different languages for you, would you say that might be worth something looking into? Would that impress you?
Yeah, I tell you, you knew it was only a matter of time before Microsoft got into the buds, the earbuds market, right? Apple definitely came out with that. Samsung's followed suit. There are a lot of manufacturers now. Microsoft integrating that with the Surface for dictation type level stuff is a pretty cool thing. Now the next thing is going to be to have the Surface or your Android phone or something like that can take voice and transcribe it into English on the buds. That way you can go to a foreign country and have someone speak into your phone and have it translate right into your ears, and then you can go the other direction with it as well. Mm-hmm. That's the next level. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yep, and I think we are right around the corner. I mean, Google's earbuds can do that. You take your earbud out and you get handed to the other person. And it helps you. It literally helps you go through it. It's on an app on the phone. Or no, maybe it is just an app on the phone. Like they talk, your headphones hear it, they transcribe it, and then it translates for you. But still, we are like right on the cusp of that happening, which I think is cool. Deckbones made a comment, says, hey, this is a lot like when Apple did with their M chip processors, I believe he's referring to. But I feel like Microsoft is trying to not only create tech, but also tech components as it cuts costs and eliminates the middleman. So they're trying to, they're not only innovating, but they're also creating cost-effective products as well, which is something that Apple doesn't usually do. So as we're running low on time, we're actually discussing a lot longer than I thought, which is really good. I was worried about that. The Surface Neo and the Surface Duo, we're going to bunch them into one category. The Surface Neo packs two 9-inch screens that fold out to make a dual screen, but the only difference is you have a hinge, right? You have a hinge here instead of a full-blown screen, whereas the Surface Duo is two 5.6-inch screens that fold out with that same hinge, so two different sizes for the same product. The Surface Neo actually has a keyboard that folds out over the screen, so you have a physical keyboard, much like the Surface, and then like a massive touch bar. They're putting Apple to shame with that one, in my opinion, but what do you think? How are these going to affect anything? Two screens, so you're basically holding a dual screen laptop wherever you go. How do you feel about that? Are you impressed?
I'm trying to figure out what Microsoft's market is on this. I agree, having the dual screen is a really cool thing, but they're going for ultra portable, maximum capability
Productivity.
market, and I'm not sure that really exists at this point, right? I know a lot of people are bringing their laptops and working in hotels or on trains or whatever the case is. How much productivity are you really going to get with this? Not sure yet. I know the one really cool thing is that it has that tent feature where you can put it up in the middle of the table, have a screen on your side that you can do stuff with, and then have the screen on the other side that's giving a PowerPoint presentation to the rest of the room or something along those lines. So that's a pretty cool feature for the larger one, but the smaller one, not sure exactly what market they're going for on that. But it's pretty cool tech. Microsoft, leads the market in artificial intelligence, and I have a feeling that these things are going to start playing into that a little bit, where you're going to see cameras integrated, and then have all kinds of capabilities with recognition and just certain video streaming and all sorts of different things with that. So we'll see where this goes.
Oh, absolutely. I think that I think they're a little early on the innovation line. I think all the full devices are a little bit early, but I think they're onto something. I think it could be more productive if the app developers really got into it. I think they could really make some cool things happen. So we'll stay tuned for that one. That's pretty much, again, just like the Samsung Galaxy Fold. Now that comes out in 2020 as well, so that's not coming out this year, but that's on the docket for things that are coming out in the near future. And then the Surface, the Windows 10 X is really the only software that they did announce. It just basically is Windows 10 it's a little bit stripped down. That's also made for dual screen devices. Reading some comments as it's starting to go off. No Minecraft for today. Also live stream it was nice meeting your dad and brother. So actually some people, Alex and Dad, that's Deck Bones, if you guys ever want to thank him for that. They said it's nice to meet you guys. Pokestone's
glad to be here.
Pokestone's giving me a hard time because he thinks we're very Apple biased against Apple. And we'll get to that in a minute. And then let's see, because the Bose headphones are the ultimate. Yeah, Bose headphones are great. Okay, moving on to my second favorite one, Google Stadia. Now, this is, I think, a heated discussion, right? So the question behind Google Stadia, everybody, is can this replace a Xbox or a PlayStation? What does this do? Where does this fit in? How does this fit in? That is the question. So with that being said, we're going to move this. Is it the Xbox killer? That's going to be the question we start out with. It says it'll run faster. It says it'll run more powerful games on a higher frame rate more consistently, just because it's Google servers running everything. What do you guys think? Alex and Dad, you guys might have some opinions about these. So Google Stadia, what do you think? Xbox killer or not?
I definitely do not think it's the Xbox killer or the PlayStation killer.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a good service, and I think it's going to open itself up to a huge market that Xbox and PlayStation have a tough time getting into now, specifically outside of the US and European countries, right? Where you're talking about folks who don't have quite as much money to go and get a huge Xbox, with a price tag of, hundreds of dollars, or have the infrastructure to support the Xbox, right? A lot of these countries are getting good, solid internet access now, but they don't have tremendous hardware to run these things, and they can't buy those consoles. So in those countries, I think what we're going to do is we're going to see Stadia open up those markets, and we're going to see new players coming out of those markets, which is great. I think it's perfect for that, because you don't need a big piece of hardware. I think serious gamers in serious gaming countries are probably not going to give up their consoles for this. I think they're going to like to have physical media. I think they're going to like to have physical device. and they're going to want to be able to play it offline from time to time. So I don't think it's the killer, but I definitely think it's going to be a successful product from Google.
Yeah, absolutely. I see so much potential for this device, and not in the Xbox killer area, right? Like, that's not where I think it's going to be. I really think this is going to fit in with everybody else, right? The casual gamers, just everybody that's not a hardcore gamer, right? You get into hardcore gamers, they're going to have physical devices, they're going to have computers, they're going to have Xboxes, but everybody else in the world can access Google Stadia for a very, very small price and play those hardcore games when they want, but also not play them when they don't want, right? So that's my thinking. And Deckbones actually makes a comment. I could potentially see this happening because the market for successful game consoles isn't massive. So yeah, I mean, it could. I think it will end up hurting Xbox and PlayStation, but not right away. Alex, do you have any thoughts on this, or is this one gonna pass you by?
I don't think it's going to have too much of an impact on the Xbox and PlayStation per se. I think what it's more going to compete with once they figure out what it can even do is compete with mobile games because people who have, very good computers, like the $1,200 computers, people who have consoles, they like to have their physical device that they can download these games onto and have basically a copy of the game on their hard drive or even the physical copy. They like to have those things in possession. And I even think that some of the poorer countries may not use this just because it is a service you have to continually pay for as well as buy the game itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that it'll have that big of an impact on consoles. I think that a lot of these phone makers are going to see this service and try to make some sort of an app that will natively work with this to help it work better, because there's going to be a lot of lag involved in it. And they say that they can get the lag down a lot, but I don't think they will because I can't even watch a video in 1080 without it buffering sometimes. So I seriously doubt that I'm going to be able to play a 4K video game with no lag at all.
Oh yeah,
that's my take on it.
well, and I'm so in this article that I'm looking at, it says Stadia could run faster and be more responsive than they do on local hardware like Xbox One and PlayStation 4. That's from a Google executive, which I would love to see that. I would love, if that's true, count me in. But is it true? That's I think with a lot of these things, time will tell, right? A lot of these things that we're talking about, time will tell whether or not this is good tech or not. And Pokestone, so Deckbones isn't commenting. Pokestone commented, says, I think that Google Stadia is going to be the death of gaming in total. Okay, that's a little exaggerated, I think, but I think you're on the right track with it being not quite as, changing the game for sure. And that is where I think everything will go. It's going to change the way we play games. They've already changed it with things like Steam and Origin, EA's Origin, all that good stuff. And now Microsoft has their PC version of the online downloading, streaming games kind of thing. It's not quite streaming, but so I really think that's going to change the way we do games. And if they can successfully do this, give it 5-10 years and the whole gaming industry is going to be vastly different. Any final thoughts?
I don't disagree. I think it is going to change the gaming atmosphere out there. I think we're going to see a lot more cross-platform, where people so one person playing on an iPad, another person playing on an Android phone, another person playing on a PC or on their TV, and they're all playing together. We don't see that as prevalent today across platforms like PlayStation and Xbox. There's a few out there, but it's definitely not as prevalent as it will be in the future. The other thing I think it's going to do is it's going to change the Google App Store, I think, forever, because I believe that Google's going to start pushing app game developers out of the Play Store and into the Stadia platform so that everything gaming is in that platform. And I think if they're able to nail the speed issues and the performance issues, I think that's going to change that part of the gaming industry, because the games that you get on your Android phones now or on your iPhones now. They're good and they're getting better, and they have been getting better for years.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to take it to the next level, and I think that's what they're hoping to do. But we'll
Yeah.
see.
Oh yeah, yeah. And Pokestone commented back with this. He says it will be, as people will try it out and claiming that it's better, people will actually believe it. So like what he's trying to say there is that as people play it and they see that it's actually a good service, that will build off. If it's not, if people are like, this doesn't really work as good as I thought it was, then it's going to die out. And I think that's 100% like very, very accurate how it's going to kind of roll with that. Go ahead.
Google really needs to keep an eye on it, though, because right now they've got all these $40 to $70 titles out there, right, that you have to buy, and then you go to the Google Play Store and you can get titles for $1.99 or $5, right? So they need to make sure that it's going to be something that will span all of it, consolidate the whole gaming platform down, and like I said, if that performance is good, it's going to open up a whole new market to folks, and I think that's going to be a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and moving on to our last and final topic. Now, this one, Alex is going to take over for us, and we're going to ask Alex questions. So, Alex, can you tell us, this is Frostpunk, and my question is it any good? Frostpunk. Okay, go, Alex. What do you got for us?
So, on the PC, Frostpunk is a very, very cool game. I never personally played it on the PC, but I watched a lot of playthroughs of it, and it's a very unique game. It's kind of like a Cities Skylines kind of game, or was SimCity. It's kind of like one of those, but it's a steampunk world, and it's very, very cold. And some of the things you have to watch out for is storms coming through that reach about 150 degrees below zero.
Oh, goodness.
Which, yeah, you have to really be careful of sending people out because they will freeze immediately. But it's a cool kind of look in how things can be. And I think they've done a very good job. And it comes out on console in 2 days. And I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, so it's I didn't actually know it's actually a PC game that's already been there, and it's coming out on consoles in 2 days, correct? That's what you said?
Yes.
Okay, so, and it's a top-down game, kind of like a city builder, it looks like, from that picture that I'm looking at?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Now, is this going to be comparable to something, is it closer related to, is it going to be closer related to like a Sim City, or more like a Command and Conquer style, or like a strategy style kind of thing, like the olden days?
It's not going to have any direct enemies, so it's going to be kind of like a city building survival game.
City building survival, that's unique.
Or as they say, a society survival game.
Oh, and it's based in Warsaw, Poland, it says there.
That might be where they kind of based it off of. I don't know where they based it out of, actually. But I mean, it looks like a really, really cool game, and from everything that I've seen, it is a very cool game, and it was fairly well received, which is why they're making it on console. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made it on console in the first place.
Yeah. I'm just reading through some of the stuff they got going right now. Go ahead.
In case you're wondering, it's the same developers who made This War of Mine, which is a side-scrolling game, but it had an absolutely incredible story to it.
Yeah.
I believe it took place during one of the world wars. I played a little bit of it, but it was a long time ago and I don't remember it. But the story was fantastic. And a very, very popular game because of it.
Yeah.
That's what these people have made before.
Fair enough. And I'm getting some comments in. It says, I'm not trying to have a bias, but I could see this game, and this is Deckbones that's saying this. It says, I can see this game going good or bad because the market for console games is decently big, so I don't know how it will get acknowledged. So, like, I don't know how it will get out there to people. That's a big worry. And I do see that as a concern. Pokestone says, olden days. I love that line. So, yes, now I'm looking through the pictures and stuff, and I can see myself playing this game, but it seems dramatic. It seems like very dramatic, I think, might be my problem with it. The story, it looks very story-oriented, for sure. definitely looks very story oriented. So I can definitely see me playing this game and actually and doing it for a little bit. But I don't know how long I could play it, if it, depending on how dramatic and how many people just die off. Like, it sounds very, very end of worldy kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, I know it is very easy to lose people in that game. But you have, I mean, you even have kids that are born, and you have to figure out what to do with the kids and what to do with the elderly.
Oh wow, so it's
Um,
very in depth.
you can do things like put the kids to work and work people till they die if you want to. And if anyone doesn't want to work, then you have a guard shoot them in the back of the head, kind of thing.
Wow.
Which is a little bit grim.
Yeah.
But you can take things another way to where, you try to get people to work the best they can and offer them whatever you can and stuff. So you can change the kind of governing that you want to do in the game, which
Mhm.
actually makes it very, very different from most games. Because most games you just kind of do things one way. But this one you can change how the government or the Force A government works.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it'll be a fun one to try out. So I'm looking forward to it. And that's Frostpunk for anybody who's curious about it. Now anybody in the comments, if you guys want us to revisit any of the topics, let us know. Does anybody have any final thoughts on any of the topics that they forgot to mention, thought about afterwards, or Dad or Alex?
No, I don't think so. I think we had some good conversation today.
Okay, Alex, how about you?
I got nothing.
Okay, and Pokestone. So it looks like now for this point on, I just want to let everybody know this is community time. So if you're not part of the community, you can leave. I'm just kidding. But this is going to be where we just kind of talk with the community about what we like, what we don't like, and all that good stuff. So Pokestone wanted us to kind of go back through Disney Plus and talk about that for a second, because there is a lot to talk about there. And Alex and Dad, you guys are not required to stick around, but please let me know. You do a little outro for yourself, say goodbye, say thank you. Before you do leave, I'm going to stay on for just another maybe 5 to 10 minutes, just talking to everybody.
If we're talking Disney Plus, I'll hang around. I like Disney Plus.
Oh yeah. Now I think there was something. So apparently, was there something Captain Marvel related that's coming to the Disney Plus? I thought I saw something. Maybe it's just they're actually going to release the movie for it. I'm not sure. Maybe she's going to be in her own TV show or something close to that. I don't know. There was something I thought I was reading in here. Yeah, the Marvel bits. So. Let's see if I could find exactly what's coming in. When's the release date? What's the Disney service? Blah, 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 blah. How can I stream it? What does it feature? Okay, cool. So now we're getting there. Subscribers is download. Okay, so also one thing I did miss, I forgot. So you can have up to 4 people streaming live at one time. And by the way, Deckbones says, thanks for the wonderful stream and have an awesome day. Thank you so much, Deckbones. You can have 4 people streaming live 4K Ultra HD content at the same time. That's awesome. In order to get that on Netflix, you have to pay extra amount. You also can have up to 6 accounts hooked up to it. So 6 different email addresses hooked up to it. And 10, you can download onto 10 mobile or tablet devices with no constraints on number of times a title can be downloaded. That is huge for the price. I mean, for the price that you're paying, that is incredible. We didn't get to mention that. Dad, are you still out there? What do you think about that one?
I'm still here, and you're right. The price is super, super competitive, right? When you talk about what Netflix costs and that sort of thing, the price is a sweet spot, and I think Netflix should be worried about that. The fact that you can have the multiple accounts, that's a trick right out of Google's playbook, right? And then the fact that you get unlimited downloads of these videos, so you can download them on a device, watch them when you're not connected to the internet or on Wi-Fi. That's pretty impressive as well. All of that comes at extra charge from some of these other services. So Disney's really coming out aggressively. They are not looking to hold back on any punches, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things I've been most impressed with is they how hard they're coming into this market. They're not coming in pulling any punches at all. And Pokestone says, prepare for bad sports, if you know what I mean. Yes, and speaking of sports, you do get all of the ESPN. Now, this I like. So I was actually, so my GM was actually asking me, and I work for Costco, but they were actually asking me some questions about some of the tech stuff that's going on. I keep up with a lot of that stuff, so I was like, sure, no problem. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it. And the kind of the pitch that I developed with everybody that I've talked to about this has been, how much is, I'll get to that in a second, is you get sports, you get kids entertainment, you get teenager entertainment, you get a more, sports or an adult entertainment, and Hulu for the price that you get for the 4K Netflix. I think it was like $16 or something like that. That is huge. You get something for everybody, and you can share it with up to 6 accounts. That is a big deal. That is fantastic, if you ask me. I think that is so beyond cool that they are able to do something like that and give everybody something to watch, not excluding anybody. So when you say you're not holding punches, I think that should be included in there as well. They're killing it. The price is $7 a month or $70 a year for just Disney Plus. Now that's not including Netflix, but that is getting you all of the 4K content for all the devices. And then let's see, the price for, let me see if I can't find it. They don't have the price. I might be able to find it on a separate tab real quick, so give me 1 second. But as far as the variety of content, you also get, what was it, the nature or, oh boy, I can't remember. Do you remember what it was, Dad? The
National Geographic.
National Geographic, there it is. Disney Plus pricing. I'm trying to find the exact pricing for you guys real quick on the extended.
Hold on a sec. I think I got it here.
Okay. And how much plans, costs, all that good stuff.
And you would think I was on dial-up here.
Yeah, I mean, mine's coming pretty quick. There's nothing on these particular ones that I'm finding useful. But yeah, I think it was competitive with Netflix, so somewhere around $16 a month. And Pokestone says, screw Netflix, screw that Netflix subscription, canceling that. And the National Geographic ? Yes, it is. That is what we were going for. Oof, LOL.
Yeah, the only thing I can find right now is the $7 a month or $70 a year. I know D23 members, that's how I got my discount. And that gives got me, if I buy 3 years, I basically get a free year. But I do see that if you sign up for Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and Hulu, you can save $5 a month on the cost of the 3 services. So it's about $13 a month for all 3 services.
Mm-hmm. I actually found it. Disney Plus with Hulu ESPN bundle cost is $12.99. So that's all of that combined. It's $12.99. So it's actually better than the price of Netflix by a pretty good margin. So I was pretty close with my $14. I was pretty close. Pokestone says, who needs National Graphic except for my dad?
Hey, watch it. I like National Geographic.
Yeah. I watch National Geographic sometimes. Those what was it, the Planet Earth series or something like that they had on there. Those are fantastic. Yeah. I mean, I can watch those all day.
Those are well done. Yep. Those are well done.
Yep. And I think that pretty much covers it. We went over all the stuff and the Marvel shows that they had going on. The Mandalorian, did you have any more information about the Mandalorian, or is it just the fact that they're coming out with it?
Well, I do know that it will be available day one, and you can binge watch it if I'm not mistaken. So every one of them will be coming out, so you'll get the whole season. I also know that they've already they're already starting production on season 2. So it will definitely be something we can watch more of. There's also the Marvel Hero Project, which I'm not entirely sure what that one's going to be, but I like Marvel as well, so we'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
There's also Marvel Studios WandaVision, Marvel Studios The Falcon, and The Winter Soldier. Now that one is going to be interesting as well, because that one sort of tells the story of what happens if or after Captain Marvel or Captain America hands off his shield, I believe. So we'll see kind of what happens from there. The other ones that I've heard that are in the works are Marvel alternate universes.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Yep. So one of the scenarios that they're kind of kicking around, and I haven't seen any more details on it, but if what would happen if instead of Captain America getting his beefed up powers, if what's her name? I can't remember her name now. His girlfriend got it instead. That would change a whole lot of things, right? So that could be interesting to see. Oh yeah, it's called Marvel Studios What If. So the series is there, but I don't have a ton of information on which what if scenarios they're going to play. Is it going to be a whole season of a single what if, or are they going to do individual shows or movies about it? I don't know yet. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And there you go. I just literally pulled it up. The what if is coming, and that's interesting. I didn't know that. Peggy Carter, yes, absolutely. Pokestone. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I keep saying I gotta stop doing that. I always say way too much. But so that's gonna be cool. I'm really excited for that. I think out of this whole list, that's probably the thing that'll affect me the most personally. The Disney Plus will, and that's gonna be a really cool thing. The things I'm looking forward to, though, are definitely those Microsoft products coming to life and actually becoming a part of my daily life if I can help it.
Right.
But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Unless if anybody in the chat's got anything else for us to kind of go through, that's all I can think of. We covered everything and that we could think of on Disney Plus. We even Google searched some things and came up with some stuff I didn't even know that was coming out, and I did some research before I did this podcast. Brandon's line, yeah, that's right, Pokestone, you got it. So, with that being said, I just kind of wanted to make some announcements and stuff like that. So, community stuff. So, you guys know I've already posted up what videos are being posted when. This live podcast is going to be broken out over the course of 5 videos over 5 different days. They're actually posted in the schedule on the website if you guys want to see that. So please check that out if you want to see what to look forward to when. I will rename them now that this podcast has happened, so you know what's coming when a little bit more accurately, other than just part 1 out of 5, since there's 5 portions of this video. We're also doing Wednesday, we're going to be doing another Minecraft live stream, and then we're going to be doing this podcast hopefully again. Maybe Wednesday is the hope. I haven't talked to Dad or Alex about that. I don't know if Alex is even still here yet. How's your Wednesday night looking, guys, next week?
I do not know. We'll have to circle back on that.
Okay, because we got about 40 views on this podcast total, and I don't know that I'll bring this out into podcast format. I think I might keep it in video format for now, but we'll see. Also, now it's that portion, that time of day, that let me check all of the memberships real quick, because if we do have anyone who's on the memberships, I have to give them shout outs. So we have 3 members already. If you don't know what that is, I posted a video earlier today. People, they can go to the homepage of Bad Tech and Gaming and join to become a member. It is a paid thing. It is not free, but you can get certain things for it. So as of right now, we have 3 members: Dark Ash, and Nitron Games, Steve Gamer. So Brandon, Wednesday, can you do it before 4 p.m.? Yes. Maybe not this particular podcast before 4 p.m. Dark Ash, thank you so much for you actually became a member, the 99-cent member. And he actually has his own little tags that he can put in the comment section if he was here. But as well, he has a YouTube channel, so check his YouTube channel out, Dark Ash YouTube, or Dark Ash YT, if you want to check that out. Steve Gamer, is actually, he donated his shout out to Pokestone. Pokestone, go ahead and post your link since you're here in the chat for me. The link to your channel. Anybody, please visit him, subscribe to him, support our supporters. And then Nitron Games YouTube as well. All of them should be in the description. But if not, Pokestone, if you wanted to post yours in there, you could. So thank you guys so much. They all have YouTube channels. Show them love as they show us love. With that being said, I don't have anything else to say. Dad, Alex, would you guys like to say your goodbyes?
Oh, it was good to be here. I was very entertaining, and I think that we got some good topics here. So this will be fun to do on a regular basis.
Absolutely. Alex, are you out there still? Is he gone? Oh, Pokestone. And while Alex is coming on, Pokestone and anybody out there who plays Minecraft with us, did you know that the person speaking to you and the person in the chat are two different people? They are Doc Lee from The Realm. Fun fact. Waiting for the reaction. Waiting for the reaction. Rip Alex. You do? Oh, okay. You might have been one of the only people to know that then. But yeah, Doc Lee, so Kathy and Scott were both portions, they were both in The Realm. I know, okay, so he's the one who did know that. I knew someone knew. But yeah, so that's always fun. Anyway, Alex, are you out there? I don't know what happened to him. I heard him talk for a second. Oh. Wait, so is your Pokestone, is your first answer the legitimate one? Is yes to that? Okay, so Pokestone says, whoa, IDK, wow, what? Since when? Yeah, I knew. Okay, good, so he knew. You're cracking me up. And I don't think Alex, I don't think he's here. I wanted him to say goodbye. But with that being said, Alex, feel free to interrupt me if you happen to get a chance to hop back on. But everybody, thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you made it to this point in the video and you haven't already, which is probably not a thing that happens. Subscribe, IBE. Oh my gosh, I cannot type. Boom. And thank you all so much for making it to this point in the video as well. I appreciate it. Let me know in Discord if you liked this setup, if you like this stream, if you like the way we have everything going, or if you don't, if you want us to change it. Let me know. I'm very open. I want to know what you liked, what you didn't like. Anyway, you guys have a fantastic day. It is time to end. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, Pokestone. And we should be, maybe, and done. Boom, gone.